Hello and welcome to this Storybuilder video tutorial. The title of this tutorial is Barriers Explained Part 2, How Things Went Wrong. If you haven't already watched Barriers Explained Part 1, please do so before watching this video. In Part 1 we looked at what things went wrong in the loss of control events and where these things went wrong in the barrier failure modes and incident factors. Now as we move back from the barrier itself, we begin to look at how things went wrong in terms of the failed tasks that should have controlled this barrier and the failed management delivery systems which should have delivered resources to the tasks. Under tasks, each barrier must be provided, used, maintained, and monitored. If a barrier is not provided or does not exist, the accident path moves through the provide box. Perhaps in this case, for example, there was no way the victim could have seen the oncoming vehicle. If a barrier is provided but not used, the path moves through the operate or use box. So perhaps the driver signaled adequately for the victim to see the vehicle, but the victim simply didn't. If the barrier failed due to substandard maintenance or change, the path passes through the maintain box. In this case, perhaps, the vehicle's lights or horn had not been maintained to working standard. Finally, if the reason for the barrier's failure was that the state of the barrier should have been monitored or supervised, the path passes through the monitor box. In this case, for instance, perhaps someone should have been monitoring that people in the area were aware of the presence of vehicles and that there were no factors obstructing being able to see or hear the vehicle. Note the human error task incident factors branching off the barrier task failures. Like the incident factors that we described as the holes in the Swiss cheese of the barrier, these suggest human error reasons for the task failures. These are divided into slips and lapses, violations of the rules, and mistakes or incorrect decisions. Finally, leading to the task boxes are the Management Delivery System, or DS boxes, and there are 8 of these for every barrier. The management deliveries can be seen as the underlying base causes of an accident. They are the resources delivered through the tasks that enforce the barriers. Failures of the management delivery systems are symptomatic for structural management system weaknesses, and it is therefore a must that we identify these underlying causes. Plans and procedures refer to the written normative behaviors for carrying out tasks and the explicit planning of those tasks in time. So specifically things like checklists and task lists, instruction manuals, maintenance scheduling, testing, inspection, rules, and even risk assessments. Availability refers specifically to allocating the necessary time of competent and suitable people to the tasks in order for them to be carried out. Competence refers to the knowledge, skills, and abilities of the people selected for the execution of tasks, namely, selecting the right person for the job and providing adequate training. Communication and coordination refers to any internal communication and coordination when the activity is being carried out by a group and includes communication channels and means such as meetings, logs, and phones. Conflict resolution deals with the mechanisms by which potential and actual conflicts between safety and other criteria in the allocation and use of personal resources are recognized, avoided, or resolved. Motivation, alertness, and awareness refers to the incentives and motivation people have to carry out their activity with reasonable care and alertness. Ergonomics deals with the fit between the man and the task, namely, the ergonomic appropriateness of the equipment used and the user-friendliness to carry out the task. Finally, equipment refers to the hardware needed for the provision, use, maintenance, and monitoring of the barrier. Now, what if for a given barrier failure, it seems like many of these management delivery failures apply? Well, as a rule, when we enter the accident data, each task failure has no more than 3 applicable management delivery failures in order to maintain focus. Now, as you can see, when I zoom out, each and every barrier failure has the structure of tasks and delivery systems, and this applies to every bowtie. And you can see it here, here, and here. That concludes this Storybuilder video tutorial, Barriers Explained Part 2, How Things Went Wrong. To learn more about bowtie structure, accident paths, inputting accident data, and analyzing accident data, please watch the other Storybuilder video tutorials. Thank you.